Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Staying Too High at Zhuhai. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who started taking prenatal classes because he heard his team clinched a playoff berth, Magas.
That's not true at all. But yes, the Packers are going to the playoffs, baby! Yeah! Anyways, we're here at Zhuhai for the third round of the Super Series, and the action is already going before you because we had no run-in this time because somebody didn't record the race. And we're having to use the replay file courtesy of Andrew D. Thank you, Andrew, for putting this together for us.
It is delicious.
And letting us get some commentary in on what otherwise would have been a lost race. So I appreciate that. We ride on board with Vic Vega as, well, not on board, but we're on his kind of wing as he battles with Jeremy Reeder's Lotus and also the Audi of Michael Magas. Up ahead is also the Carnival Barker himself, John Barker, in the Porsche. And towards the front, there is the man who is the hero, Andrew D, and he just took third place, I think. Away from somebody. I believe that was Hans Andreasen?
Please say Hans Gruber.
No, it's Anderson or Andreasen.
It's Christmas time. It's Hans Gruber.
I mean, it could be. We pick up Luciano Echazo running in 9th place in Class 1. Class 1 being the GT2s, and GT4s being the Class 2 in this particular instance. GT2s are race-built cars from Audi and Porsche. GT4 has a little bit more variety to it, and are production cars that have to be sold enough to be homogenized as production cars. And Echazo with an overtake there of Josiah Jerome. I was gonna say two people are running that monster Audi car, so I had to look to see which one it is. The other one's Rene Irmer, for the record, but he's at the back.
It's his cousin Giuseppe Jerome.
Giuseppe Jerome? We'd have to ask him. Further back, here's the Lotus of Diogo Braganca. By the way, Expanse references for Diogo. Oh, Lord, somebody's in the wall.
They're dead. That,
I think, is Jesus Huerta, who is in the wall and has escaped back to the pits, so his day is done. He'll be out of this affair. Braganca battling with Arno Adracor, as well as, I'm sorry I've already forgotten your first name, but the last name is Mark Cadet, and Steve Davidson. Steve Dave!
I believe the first name is Duplessis.
Probably not. I think it's Dennis or David or something along those lines.
Duchambord.
Daniel? Maybe Daniel. Cole McRae.
Damn, Daniel.
Hey, Cole McRae up in 4th place. Wow.
Creel McCoy, all the way up there with all the steroids, and
yeah, Cole McRae doing here. Still trying to make my a little bit of heads or tails of the stuff we got here going on right now. So I can see the tires there, hard tires. We got the country logo, we got the name, we got the car number 71. We got 4th place, Class 2. There's a lap and a decimal system. Oh God, Cole, what did you do?
He is currently on heroin.
It might be. That was not pretty. Back to Luciano Echazo. I'm not sure what this the -6 means, or the 10 or the 4. I'm not sure what those mean.
That's what gear they're in.
I doubt it. It'd be changing.
How many drops of fuel they have?
It'd be there. I mean, there is a gear reading there, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's in the wrong spot. I'm not sure what those are.
That
could
is
be
their
could
velocity.
be increased positions. Maybe there's an arrow pointing up beside the 2. And Echazo did qualify near the back, so that could be it. Anyways, Michael Magas on board here. The proud Canadian flag displayed on the number 93 car as he runs in behind Magic Kaszczuk, my fellow Eastern European transplant. He's from Poland and lives in the UK, and I am from Yugoslavia and live in Canada. So there you
go. Magic Cabbage Truck also engaged to be married.
Ah, yes, that's true. That's true.
Congratulations, your life is over.
Not necessarily. If you found the right one, his life is not over.
R.I.P. No more racing for you. Perhaps.
I suppose perhaps. Luciano Echazo going side by side there with Jamie Fordham. Getting the better of it into 7th place there. So we've lost Jesus Huerta. I do like that we actually have like a little, you know, no smoking little logo there for the guys who are out of the race. That's appreciated. Arno Adrakor is in the pit lane. As well as, that'd be Dave Fight. Having to make a pit stop, as well as Mark Day, as well as Ermer. So a couple of early pit stops here. The window, I don't believe, is open. We also have a nice little pit report there. I like that.
To the window, to the wall.
To the wall. So some serious damage early.
On my hubcaps.
And David Fight makes the overtake of Ricardo Costa for 12th place. Ariel Zatoni is currently leading class number 2. He's got Tobias TH and ya boy, Byron, Pedro Maglesh.
Oh, I thought you were going to say corn.
Oh, no, Ariel.
Ariel,
that's not where the track goes, Ariel. It's weird. We've seen a couple of cars just kind of lose it, frankly, without really any reason. It's a bit confusing and a bit strange. John Barker in 6th place.
I'm entertained.
Ariel going very, very slowly. That Lotus is showing heavy damage.
Is it true that this particular track is paved with the bones of Uyghurs?
Ariel Zatoni going into the pit lane. So yet another un-window pit stop. Rick Martel in the field. I guess that's the question. Who is your boy in this race? Is it Rick Martel or is it Pedro Maglesh? If you had to choose just one.
Well, I mean, I gotta stick with my boy Rick Martel.
That's true. That's true. He's very attractive.
But as per the rules of the pro wrestling fandom, my boy stable can contain up to 5.
Indeed, but does Pedro classify as a boy in that regard? I mean, he actually wins things. As, Jeremy Reeder.
The boy stable does disqualify actual champions.
Jeremy Reeder overtakes Michael Magas. I believe Pedro did win the Super Series one time we did it. So
Pedro Maglesh.
I don't know if he actually can qualify for boy stabledom.
Oh shit! I found that video and didn't share it with him. I will do that.
What is your ESR boy stable, Byron? Hit us up.
I mean, it's got to be.
As one of the golf cars moving very slowly. That is Andrew D, I think. And Jamie Fordham loses control random. What is going on here?
I mean, I gotta go with Butler and Barker and Martel, and you're in there because you don't win shit.
That's true. That's true.
And probably Ariel Zatoni just for fun because I get to make all kinds of aerial, terrestrial, aquatic, Ariel versus Lotus, which is a great song by Limblifter.
Leave your boy stable in the comments below.
As prefaced, your boy stable cannot include actual champions.
So no Mike Stockmill.
these are underdogs, but fan favorites in your heart and in your mind.
My boy stable, because I got to reveal them. Mauricio Delgado, so enthusiastic in voice comms.
I'm also putting the 6th person in my 5-man boy stable is also Mauricio Delgado.
Mauricio Delgado is in my boy stable. John Barker is in my boy stable. I mean, is it presumptuous to put myself in my own boy stable?
It is. That's not a done thing, sir. That makes you a mark for yourself.
I am a mark for myself.
Only Ric Flair is allowed to do that and get away with it.
Rick Martel is totally my boy stable, as I think that's Rene Ermer losing the car. A lot of that happening. A lot of very random. Oh, Jeremy Reeder way off the track. Ayrton Arsenault is in my boy stable by virtue of being on my team for this season's 3D Speed Series.
Fair enough.
So, he's got to be in there. He had not previously been in there, but he's in there now.
There's my boy.
James Butler having a rough time. Hey, Cole McRae's still out there despite the big accident. That's nice. Did make a pit stop to fix the car, but
That'd be his nickname from now
has
on.
not given up.
Cole the Big Accident McRae.
Cole, don't take it the wrong way, but they do tend to follow you.
Cole the Accident Magnet McRae.
So we got Ayrton Arsenault, John Barker, Mauricio Delgado in my boy stable. I got 2 spots to fill, don't I? Rick Martel. I forgot to list him. So I got 1 spot left in the boy stable. Who is my boy stable 5th member?
I mean, ostensibly it would be Josiah Jerome, but he does win shit.
He wins stuff, so he can't really be in there. And I would list RC, but she won the Academy, so
Well, there you go.
not eligible for boy stable.
Well, I mean,
Whoa, Alfonso Alexandre taking a spin. I like that livery, Alfonso, but I don't know about the spin.
None more black.
Couple cars going through. Bertrand Barrier, by the way, is in the lead. I don't think we've even really talked about that at all. But he is in the lead from Hans Andreasen and Max Simmons, and in the GT4 category it is Tobias TH, Pedro Magalhães, and Diogo Braganca.
Braganca Gonk.
Still got 1 boy stable spot.
Indeed.
That's a tough one. See, I'm debating like names that have amused me, people who have just given us a lot of excitement on commentary.
Well, I mean, there's people that give us very much excitement on commentary that are not people that I've entirely endeared towards, thus disqualified from boyhood.
It's David Marcaday. There you go.
There you go. I like that livery. I like the subdued orange on dark gray.
Yeah, it works. I do like that. It looks like a BC Lion alternate uniform.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. It's not like what's his nut with the was it Barker had the shitty yellow on puke gray.
That was Butler. That was Butler.
Butler. Yeah, there you go. That's why they're both in my boy stable, so I don't have to try and tell them apart.
I suppose I'll give the 5th spot to in my boy stable to Josh McLaughlin, because he gave it his all last season in the Hondas, and I appreciate him taking that adventure with me. As James Butler goes a little bit wide there as he battles with Josiah Jerome for 6th place.
Does Josh McLaughlin know who Sarah McLaughlin is?
Oh, we should probably find that out.
You can just sing "I Will Remember You" to him every time you're racing with him,
or play a clip of Mark McLaughlin hitting a field goal.
That's also a possibility.
McLaughlin is up and it's good.
Oh baby!
Pick up Pedro Magalhães there in the Lotus there. And he is behind the Porsche of Tobias TH. That's the battle for the lead. Arno Adracor ahead of them went in for a pit stop early. I do wonder if he'll find his way back into this, because Arno is a very fast driver. He is one of Bertrand Barrier's crew, and they're very rapid, very quick racers. So he's in a bad spot right now, but it might get better as Jeremy Reeder is putting the pressure on Michael Magas.
I will dismember you.
Oh no! Jeremy Reeder loses the car. What is it with that corner?
I don't know, man. Looks
Whoa! Dave Fight also having a moment there as he battles with David Marcaday. What is going on?
Mark all day, every day.
I don't understand. The only thing I'm a little disappointed with this overlay is there's no pit indicator. So we have a mandatory pit in this race once the window opens up, and it doesn't look like I have any way of telling who's pitted, which is a little bit of a problem. Like, there's the pit report, but like those are not mandatory pit stops. It's kind of the thing. Like, normally there's a color code for it. We pick up Luciano Echazo here, trying to get by the 3rd place car of Max Simmons, and he does. Also, like Max Simmons' livery there, the pink and the black and the white. It's not bad, actually. It's kind of little Hello Kitty, but it works for Max Simmons.
Hello. Instead of Hello Kitty, it should be Hello by Lionel Richie. Hello.
You know, you say that. I just downloaded. There's a race I'm doing, the 6 hours of Bathurst, and there's a custom liveries allowed, and someone actually did do a Lionel Richie car, and it says hello.
Should be the horn.
Well, that we can't do. We can't change the sounds, but it is the car on the hood of the car. There's just like Lionel Richie, like sexually posed, and then on the side of the car it says hello, and on the other side of the car it says, "Is it me you're looking for?" And there's Hello Kitty sponsorship on the back. I'm like, that's awesome. We got Pedro Magalhaes looking for a way into the lead, and I think he's got it. Can we get an outside view here, please? It looks like he's ahead, but the gap is just 1/10 of a second. They're still side by side. There we go. Our Noah Drakor in the background is not fighting for position, but the Lotus of Pedro Magalhaes does have the lead.
Be sure to go to the ESR store and buy your bottle of Adrakar Noir.
Oh, nice. It's very classy.
ESRstore.store.com.store.
At some point, that store will be up.
Nah, I'm not holding my breath.
Well, you need to PM Martin, care of Martin. Where's the store?
We talk about it. He knows.
Oh no, I'm telling the audience.
There are sure. There are designs for put them in the wall T-shirts and gear.
So we're watching a battle of two proper heavyweights here: Pedro Magalhaes, Tobias TH. By the way, how is it that Tobias is on our MMA server and Pedro is not? I mean, that does feel like feels like a discipline.
That fat Puerto Rican.
Proper battle of heavyweights, though, here. Championship contenders. Although Pedro's attendance has been a little bit off for a title contender, but definitely has the pace on any day to be a factor and a force in this whole thing. Rounding off the top three right now in GT4, it's Diogo Braganca, then it is Steve Davidson, John Barker, Magic Kaschuk, Michael Magas, David Marcaday, David Fight, and Jeremy Reeder. You know what? I should really just go with Dave anytime a guy's name starts with D, because, like, let's face it, it almost always is Dave.
What if it's
we have so many Daves. We have Dave Nelson, who is the OG Dave. We have Dave.
Oh my God!
Oh Lord, fuck? Jamie Ford elusive. I don't know.
Oh no! See, that's not Jamie's fault. That one was Jamie's fault.
Jamie Fordham
First
giving us all kinds of card attacks.
Second one entirely his fault.
As Rene Ermer runs in 11th place in the GT2 category.
Back off the track, and homie kept pulling off the track.
I mean, the problem is the line through that corner takes you wide. Like, if we get a view, like, you're going to see everybody take that line. So, you can't back towards the flow of traffic, I guess is what I'm getting at. It was a little hairy, but no harm done. Well, to Jamie, yes, but not to anyone else. So we're okay. Jeremy Reeder, who we saw spin earlier, battling with Dave Fight, and some GT2s are coming through, including this man, Alfonso Alexandre, and the car ahead of him, Josiah Jerome.
Your boy J Double.
And Alfonso Alexandre losing it. You can see that these GT2s are an absolute handful, and it's why I'm not driving one.
Alfonso Alexandre.
Indeed. I do like Alfonso's name. A very fun name to say. You know what's probably better is if he put his full Portuguese name in there, because you know there's more to that name.
Oh, there's gonna be like 6 more.
We've been watching enough MMA to deal with like Brazilian Portuguese names to know that name gets longer, as Henrik Andreasen has a spin.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a dude at work who's the director of a department, and shout out to Gulf Oil right there. Well done.
That is Andrew D's car, by the way, in the Gulf Oil.
Delicious.
So Andrew D, honorary boy for this race.
So your boy at work already has a De La in there, but he doesn't use his full name because it's another like 2 names long.
Okay.
Apparently, the tradition is to use the I'm gonna fuck this up, and I'm gonna get it wrong, and people are gonna have to correct me in the comments. I believe it's the tradition to use the mother's name. So if your mother's last name is Gonzalez and she marries Lopez, then you get to be Gonzalez and just shorten it, and you don't have to use the full thing. I think.
It's something like that, but yes, the Spanish and Portuguese naming conventions are
that's all Basque to me.
Are interesting. And not just them, because of course we know, of course, from Kaspari Zigomanis that the Baltic countries have like a similar type deal where like you have your first name, you have your family name, you have your saint name, you have your regional name. It's very confusing. It's why every time Ziggy signs up for something with me, he's like, "What name am I supposed to use here?" I'm like, "I don't know, the one that people might be able to pronounce." The one that people might be able to pronounce is the answer.
Fuck with them. Use the whole thing.
Someone just overtook Alfonso Alexandre. That is Mauricio Delgado and Jeremy Reeder also picking up a move on day fight there.
Jeremy putting the in Reeder.
Trying to figure out if there's a Dominic brand here in GT4. In GT2, I think it's who doesn't spin. Frankly, we've seen so many GT2s spin that I don't think there's an Audi or Porsche bias.
I recommend just bringing a Yamaha 4-wheeler and giving it the business.
Well, we got the Lotus of Pedro Magalhaes out front. Then it's the Porsche Tobias TH. I think Bergonka's in a Lotus as well.
Bergonka.
Steve Davidson, I think, is in a Mercedes, if I recall correctly. Barker and Kaschuk are in BMWs. My Audi is the top Audi in the field, GT4s. Marcaday is in the Mercedes. Reeder is in the Lotus. And Fight is in the Lotus. So there are 4 Lotuses in the top 10. This would suggest to me that it's maybe slightly the car to be in.
Did you say Zatoni's in a Lotus?
Zatoni is in a Lotus.
Yes! I now get to sing Ariel versus Lotus forever.
I'm 90% sure he's in a Lotus.
There is a song from a band named Limblifter, previously mentioned, called Ariel versus Lotus. And I've been waiting for this day since I started doing commentary.
Well, let's be honest. You've been waiting for Ariel to drive an Ariel Atom.
That's on the list, but musically and OCD-wise, it does not come together until the purple moon rises over Tokyo, and now here we are.
We have lost a couple of cars since we last gave the casualty update. Jamie Fordham, Rene Ermer, Cole McRae have packed it in. So we are down to just 9 GT2s and 15 GT4s out on track.
You're a little casual about the casualties.
Michael Magas getting lapped here by, that is, Alfonso Alexandre and Mauricio Delgado. A little bit of a difficult to let 2 cars through. This actually it's pretty easy to get the blue flags out of the way here around Zhuhai. I really like this track for a number of reasons. That is one of them. For multi-class racing, I think it works actually pretty well. Mauricio trying to hang on there against or trying to get around Alfonso, I should say, as they come up to Magic Cash Check. But the blue flag clearing is, I think, part of what I like about it. It's very easy to get side by side with cars here. It's very easy to get overtakes done. It's a deceptively simple track in the sense that it feels very simple, but there's a lot of parts that can bite you, as we've seen. And that's why it is honestly one of my favorites as we pick up Tobias TH and chasing down the race leader, at least in GT4, Pedro Magalhaes once again.
I am also deceptively simple.
Yes. There's really layers to Byron. So many layers. He's like an onion.
I'll make you cry.
Also, you've not. I'm gonna do a shameless self plug here. Pull my McFoley out.
Wow, are you trying to promote twitchtv.com/MioDread?
I mean, that's one of them, but I was also going to...
I was also going to... Friday nights between 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific.
There you go. There you go. I don't have to do it. You do it for me. But I was also going to promote the Discord because you got yourself a open weight title fight coming up.
Oh, very nice. Who challenged?
Victor Sempervides has been... I don't know what Brock has told him,
I don't know. I don't even know who Victor Slipovides is.
He was one of the newer guys that joined. It was him and his wife that joined up.
Right, okay.
And Brock talked them up. He's former U.S. Army.
Gotcha.
Lives out in Chicago, so he'll be challenging you for the belt.
All right. If anybody out there is not familiar with any,
assuming
of this,
he doesn't back out when I ask the question, like, so what has Brock told you?
Yeah. Because I mean, he wiped all the previous history, so.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
Big spin there for Mauricio Delgado. Luciano Echazo gets to chill out and let the pressure roll off him. Vic Vega having a little bit of a moment there.
Anybody not familiar with the openweight title, and you're not.
And Byron, I can give you some good news.
What that is?
That Lotus that just overtook Vic Vega, that is Ariel Zatoni, so he is in a Lotus.
Ariel versus Lotus by Limlifter. Look it up, youtube.com. .co.uk .az .jpn.
We pick up Tobias TH, still on the tail. Long-term battle here between him and Pedro Magalhaes. I'm very interested to see where this goes on the pit stop here. I'm hoping we get a warning when there's a pit window up, but I don't know if we will. There are some pit stops going on. David Marcaday is in the pit lane, so I think the window is open, and we just don't have a any kind of visual cue. So I'm gonna have to try to keep track of who's pitted and who's not pitted, and we'll see how that goes. But David Marcaday is in early into the pit lane. I do have the little pit report at the side there. I should be able to keep it all track. Ricardo Costa. What do you think about Ricardo Costa's car there? I actually rather like that livery.
I can just see the SN. And now it's a James Butler dashboard.
James Boutelier. Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sport. This is the corner that's been catching everybody out. And on board, I can tell why they're getting caught out there. The GT2s do not have good traction through that corner. That's the last corner on the circuit. Michael Magas on the tail of Magic Kazchuk still, and in behind him that is a lapping car. It's one of the GT2s coming through. Not sure which one. I apologize to the GT2 crowd. I think it's Mauricio Delgado, but I have not necessarily put a livery to everybody's name at this time. There's also a couple of duplicates within the... Oh boy. He's wiggling his way through there. Gets through Magas quite easily. Tried to go for 2 for 1, but couldn't quite get it done.
Put him in the wall.
But he'll get the job done here on the start-finish straight because that GT2 is flying compared to the GT4s.
GT 6.5.
James Butler. So does this livery here by Butler get your seal of approval, at least compared to his previous effort, which was the dull gray and the yellow?
It's very World War II fucked up ship camo. I'm down with that.
Awesome. Pick up Michael Magas still on the tail of Magic Kazchuk here. They continue to battle over 6th place. Magas having his best run of the season, 10th in each of the first 2 races, and running in 7th place here today.
Well, I mean, you'd be higher up the list, you just put him in the wall.
It's possible to say that would be the case, but then I would damage the car.
Not if you do it right. Let me teach you. Oh wait, this doesn't look like World of Tanks, does it?
No, it does not.
Well, okay, I have to deal with maybe reconnoitering that.
It's not quite the World of Tanks Mario Kart concept. Pedro Magalhaes, Arno Adrakor, Tobias TH have all hit the pit lane. In fact, there is Pedro. Almost on command. Is Lotus Evora taking service as he pits from the lead, and that gives the lead over to Diogo Braganca in GT4. Let's see. Oh, Pedro comes out behind Tobias TH, so Tobias has jumped him in the pit lane sequence. Very nicely done.
And then?
I don't know. I'm not sure whether the undercut here is super strong. But that shift in position does suggest that it may be as we ride on board with Henrik Andreasen, who is trying to catch up to Andrew D up ahead in the Golf colored Porsche.
Hell yeah, Golf oil to the front.
I hate to say this, but I actually have no idea what car is in the lead. It's Bertrand Barrier, who's now in the pit lane, but I have no idea what livery he's running. Dave Fight also in the pit lane.
I believe he's probably got paint on the back.
Luciano Chazo running in 8th place. Still running behind Alfonso Alexandre, who dips into the pit lane. Max Simmons taking the lead, because of course Max Simmons in a pit stop race is going to take the lead. Those who are unaware, in ESR, Max is an urban legend, frankly. The idea that Max Simmons would ever pit.
He is the pit nest monster.
Always one of the latest ones into the pit lane. Henrik Andreasen rejoining the race there, as well as one of the Porsches in behind him. Not sure who that is.
That
is Bertrand Barrier, actually. Okay, so we now know what Barrier, who was for the longest time the race leader, looks like. It doesn't look like he had a good pit stop, though, because he's coming up behind Andreasen, which is, I think, a bit of a problem. Also into the pit lane this time around, Steve Davidson and John Barker. So there is the man who has led most of today's race, Bertrand Barrier.
Car looked like a Reebok shoe.
A little bit. He's been into the pit lane and has lost a spot to Henrik Andreasen, so the pit stop not working out great. See what he can do. Max Simmons yet to pit, Andrew D yet to pit, James Butler, Josiah Jerome, Luciano Chazo. So the top 5 all yet to pit. As I say this, Andrew D and Butler hit the pit lane, as well as Ricardo Costa. Picking back up, Michael Magas, the only Audi in the GT4 field now, with the loss of Cole McRae. He is on the tail of Magic Kazchuk, which is a place he's been kind of most of the race, honestly. Very wide line there from both men. Pick up Pedro Magalesh, who's looking to get back past Tobias TH here. This battle is now for third, or it's actually for second in class, so actually only Berganca ahead of them is yet to pit, as we pick up Ricardo Costa rejoining the race. And James Butler in the background there, also rejoining the festivities. That's Arnaud Adracor overtaking Ricardo Costa for 14th place. And also in the background there, it's Alfonso Alexandre in the GT2 that's coming up to lap them. Someone who seemingly got a pretty bad pit stop there is James Butler, who's fallen back to 9th place as Josiah Jerome gives it a spin. He gets it back going. Luciano Chazo will overtake him off of that. So that puts Chazo second place on track, but yet to pit. Still also waiting on Simmons and Jerome through the GT2s, and I believe it is Braganca, Magas, and I can't remember if Arnaud Adracor has been in for his actual scheduled pit stop. I believe they are still out there. He pits Kazchuk, Reeder, and Martel have all hit the pit lane. Vic Vega, I think, also perhaps needs to make a pit stop.
Well, I mean, everybody does at some point, right?
Well, a number of people, most of the field actually at this point, have made their pit stop.
Might I recommend that almost everybody makes a pit stop?
You'd be right. The exceptions would be Jesus Huerta, who crashed out of the race before being able to make a pit stop. And I think Jamie Fordham never made a pit stop. On board with Pedro Magalesh.
Robin
in his Lotus Evora. Still on the tail of Tobias TH. This is effectively through the GT4 lead because I don't think Diogo Braganca will in any way be able to come out ahead of these guys. If I'm reading the gaps correctly, he's less than 20 seconds ahead of them. So I don't think that there's any real chance of him retaining the lead.
Let's go ahead and change half a tire and get 2 drops of fuel and you're out.
We got to change at least 2 tires to serve a mandatory pit stop. Most people are. Most people will be swapping the front tires and running the same set of backs that they start on all the way to the end.
That seems wasteful. You should only change 1 tire at a time and pit twice.
Byron, challenging skill testing question for you. Which tire on this track do you think takes the most abuse?
That would be the spare tire in the trunk.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how much abuse that's taken, I suppose. As Pedro overtakes
Depends on how badly you roll the car.
The answer, for those who are actually curious, is the left front on these cars are taking the most power.
Giggity.
Tobias TH back to 3rd place. That will become 2nd when we see Braganca come in. Jeremy Reeder and Mauricio Delgado have come in to serve their pit stops. Those were 2 that I missed that had yet to pit. And Michael Magas is in.
Magas!
There's Mauricio Delgado, and I think you can see Magas in the background there. I think that's his car anyways.
Prestidigitation. Magas.
Mauricio rejoins the festivities in last place amongst the GT2s, but having a spirited charge. And of course, there's only 9 running still, so even last place carries with it the point scoring total for ninth place. So, you know, it's definitely a thing. Michael Magas has also rejoined the festivities behind Magic Cash Truck, but ahead of David Marcadet in 7th place.
All day long, all day.
It looks like Jeremy Reeder has retired from the race, unfortunately. So we're down to 14 GT4s. Top 10 rundown in GT4. Braganca, who's yet to pit, leads the way from Pedro Magalhaes, Tobias TH, Steve Davidson, John Barker, Magic Cash Truck, Michael Magas in 7th place, Marcadet in 8th, 9th for Ariel Zatoni, and 10th for Rick Martel.
You mean to say that a Marcadet keeps a reader away?
Quite possibly.
Oh, snap.
And in the GT2 category, aka Class 1, Max Simmons yet to pit, but leads the way. Luciano Achazo also yet to pit. He's in 2nd place. Josiah Jerome in 3rd place, yet to pit. And of the pit stoppers, the leader is Henrik Andreasen, who is followed by Bertrand Barre, Andrew D, this man Alfonso Alexandre, that's good timing, James Butler, and Mauricio Delgado.
Mauricio. Is it true that Mauricio Delgado...
Alfonso! Another big spin. I missed what you said about Mauricio because Alfonso was spinning out.
Well, maybe you should be concentrating on things that matter.
Yeah, like Alfonso spinning out.
Wow. Is it true that Mauricio Delgado is the most laid-back person in the world?
He's up there.
The answer is no. I've been in a chat room with him for a couple times, and he is very animated.
He's very animated, but at the same time still somehow laid back. Like nothing actually is really all that serious, despite his animation. It's a bit of a weird phenomenon, to be honest. Trambarier working his way through traffic there. That is Mark Cadet getting out of the way. And next up for him will be Michael Magas and Magic Cash Truck. But he's also got Henrik Andreasen and Josiah Jerome trying to work their way through this traffic as well.
Oh my God, they're coming 17 wide through the corner. Ah!
Josiah just let Henrik Andreasen past him there. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. If
He's gonna launch the blue shell. Watch out.
if the GT4 car of Magic Kashchuk kind of was a problem, or maybe, I mean, at this point we've seen Josiah spin a couple times, and I kind of suspect that the tires are not doing great things for him right now. But he also loses out to Bertrand Barrier there. Those are also two very fast drivers, in Andreasen and Barrier. David Marcadet, you can see the damage to his front end there. That damage, I think, has actually been fixed at this point. He's been into the pits and had it fixed. I just don't think that the model re-renders. I think we've found this a couple times.
What?
Re-renders. Oh. We've noticed this before with cars that have no wheels on them, for example, running around. I don't think that after a pit stop, the car actually re-renders itself as... Oh no, Magic Kashchuk! Off the track. We've seen a number of GT2s, but the GT4s are not immune to it either. Kashchuk rejoins, but he'll have lost positions to Magas, Marcadet, and Zettoni.
Keep saying Marcadet, and now I want to listen to a song called Dark All Day by Gunship. It's very good.
I'm familiar with it.
Good old vampire slaying anime video.
Diego Berganca, by the way, has been into the pit lane, so I think we're waiting on Simmons and Ichazo, and I'm pretty sure Josiah Jerome is not pitted, so I think those are the three that we're still waiting for, but I could be wrong. Arno and Dracor might still need to pit. He's had a very rough race. Running in 13th place there in the GT4 class. I believe he's lost 7 spots if I'm reading the HUD correctly, because I believe he qualified in 6th place. Tobias TH runs in 2nd still. Your biggest climbers through the field, having made up 7 spots from where they started, are John Barker, as David Marcadet looks to get past Michael Magas. They squeeze into turn 1, and Magas hangs on to the spot. Your biggest climbers on the day so far at plus 7 spots. That data has just disappeared from me, which is disappointing.
Now you have to make it up. Make it up. Make it up.
I believe I said John Barker was one of the big chargers, having made up 7 spots.
But it's more funny if you say, like, I don't know, Juice Newton.
Ariel Zettoni dropping back in the field, and that's because he is in the pit lane along with Josiah Jerome, so he had yet to pit. So, oh God! Another spin for Henrik Andreasen. Rough times out here, everybody. Jeez. Rough times.
Well, I mean, perhaps if they drove monster trucks, they wouldn't have this problem.
David Marcadet back on the tail of Michael Magas. This is a battle for 6th position. Marcadet has had a rough race, as you can tell from the car. And Magas is having a solid run at one of his favorite tracks. Even in RaceRoom, that Audi is really high off the ground. I can see the difference even in the replays here between it and the Mercedes. It's comical in the ACC. The GT4 Audi, it looks like a monster truck when it's driving around compared to the other cars. As Max Simmons rejoins from the pit lane.
Max Simmons manages to push 72 hours beyond the pit window.
So Luciano Ichazo is in the lead, and I don't know if he's pitted. I don't remember seeing him in the pits. Do you recall Ichazo being
I do not. But then I do not pay attention to such things.
True enough. I was just hoping that maybe you did, and we could get an answer for that. But I'm not sure if he's pitted yet. But it's him leading from Barrier, Andreasen, D, Simmons, Butler, Alchandre, Jerome, and Delgado. Another close side-by-side there between Marcadet and Magas. Magas getting forced out a little bit onto the rough stuff. And James Butler is like, gentlemen, could you please put a pause on this battle? I need to get through here. And he does.
Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
That's basically what that was.
Well, I've hit my pit window, so I'll be right back.
Okay. So I think we're looking at the gaps here. I think we're going to see a lot of this Marcadet versus Magas battle because they're within a second of each other, and it doesn't look like anybody else is right now. There is some close stuff going on. Tobias TH is still pretty close to Pedro Magalesh. Bit of lag spike there by the looks of it. They're still battling it out there for the lead. We'll probably check in on that a couple of times, I would think. But otherwise, the next closest gap is... looks like it's about 2.5 seconds between Zatoni and Fight. That may close because Zatoni, of course, was the pole sitter, was very fast. It would be interesting to see where that heads to. I'm thinking it's high point, low point, and positions gained is the 3 numbers there at the side there. So if I'm reading this correctly, Marcadet started in 7th. He's in 7th, so he's gaining 0 positions. And his lowest position was 16th. I think that's what it is, but I'm not entirely sure. Should have asked Andrew D for, I think, a more thorough briefing probably on this before we started this, which is my bad. There's probably a ton of data here that I should be able to make use of, and I'm just not able to because of my own what's the word I'm looking for here? Inadequate preparations. But we continue to follow David Marcadet, Michael Magas battling over 6th place, Audi versus Mercedes, a age-old German manufacturer rivalry. It is played out across GT racing, is played out across DTM, of course. I don't believe it's ever played out across F1, of course, because Audi's never been involved in F1. I don't think it's ever really played out in the open wheel venue, except for a little bit of Formula E, as Luciano Ichazo is sinking into the track. I suspect this is a file problem in the replay file, and indeed it is, as Luciano is moving along quite fine, 28 seconds into the lead.
I seem to have had a small glitch, but we'll just continue on, and I'll just make inane comments.
Okay. So not really all that different from normal.
No.
David Marcadet still on the tail of Michael Magas.
What timestamp are you at?
49, 18, 19.
I'm only like 5 seconds back.
Okay.
No big deal. I've made up shit with larger time gaps.
He's not,
oh my God,
lying.
Mike Magas goes into the stands. He's fighting people. What
the fuck? David Marcadet slides up the inside of Mike Magas, and he was not taking no for an answer that time. Magas tried to close the door late, and Marcadet is through and into 6th place. And we'll get perhaps a delayed reaction from Byron in about 5 seconds on that.
No, not at all. I'm not going to do that.
Puts Marcadet up into 6th place. He outqualified Magas by a fair bit, so I suspect he will probably not vanish per se, but probably Magas has no comeback for him.
Wow! I mean, if that's gonna really be your attitude, maybe.
And Marcadet will be looking to catch up with John Barker up ahead there in the yellow BMW that is flashing in and out of shot every so often.
Mike would like to announce his retirement and move on to iRacing, where all the losers go.
Ooh! I feel like I can't back that statement up. Luciano Ichazo, the man in the lead. At this point, one would have to say that the pit window has got to be closed. Hang on, I'm going to look up the RaceRoom page or the race app page for this and see what lap Luciano Ichazo pitted on.
All of them.
And I'm going to do it, hopefully without spoiling any results for myself.
Steve Dave wins.
sorry. I know that is not the case. I did race in this race, so I know some of the results, but I do not. I've intentionally avoided race app to learn all of them. But I feel like we do need to know about this pit stopping scenario right now. And it looks like race app doesn't have the results? Question mark. Speaking like hell's fire. Yeah, no, the results are not up. So yeah, no, I can't look it up. That's disappointing.
I believe Luciano Chazo pitted on the 87 1/2 flap.
I believe the problem is that since Diogo Braganca, his race app was not working, the log file was probably removed so that he could fix things, and then we can re-upload the log file and apply the scoring. This is why it's important to have your race app properly configured, everybody.
Correct.
There's Arno a track core on the tail of David Feit. This is a battle for 11th place in class. And could be 10th because Vic Vega in the Mercedes just ahead of them is in 10th place. So if a Dracor can get clear of Feit, he's got a pretty decent chance at getting Vega. Dracor is very fast, very quick guy, qualified P5. So, you know, he's definitely got top 10 speed. Another one of the guys I believe that is related to the Bertrand Barrier race team. I think it's Barrier, Adracor, and Marc Cadet who represent the race team in question. Let's see what he can do here. Dave Feit is a feisty defender.
Kind of feisty?
A little bit. Looks like Rick Martel might be driving without a front end, basically. So that might open him up to being overtaken by all three of these cars in the long run.
Less weight, more fuel economy.
Oh, Feit off the track, and that I think will give. No, Feit just powers through the grass and says, "No, I'm staying in front. I'm Lewis Hamilton." And oh god, that's terrifying to watch that happen. But that is Bertrand Barrier zipping through the traffic there, the second place car in GT2, trying to make his way through the blue flags. As he tries to catch up with race leader Luciano Chazo. That gap is closing very rapidly, but I don't think it's accurate because I think Chazo is having some ping issues. When we were riding on with him earlier, he started sinking into the track. So I'm not 100% trusting the gap that it shows between Barrier and Chazo is what I'm getting at.
Is there a certain barrier for Barrier?
It's kind of moving a little bit too much, if you know what I'm saying. Vic Vega might lose 2 spots here into turn 1, and he will. Wow, good kind of teamwork there between Feit and a Dracor, and a Dracor is going to get them both. That might be the overtake of the race right there. Arno, a Dracor, 2 for the price of 1, gets by Vic Vega on the straight, and then takes David Feit in turn 1, and has got himself back into the top 10.
Arno, is it me you're passing by?
It is, apparently. Henrik Andreasen, who appears to have lost parts of his car, running in 3rd position, and spins it around again. We've seen these GT2s lose it quite frequently around this track. And that's going to let Andrew D up onto the podium, at least for the time being.
I think they should switch over to the winter tires with the studs.
I mean, at this point, it might be worth a try as Max Simmons is coming up on him. We know Max was one of the latest pit stoppers. Actually, he was the latest pit stop because the only one who's pitted since is Ariel Zatoni, and that was to retire the car. We lost Zatoni on lap 33. Now on lap 34. Simmons battling with Andreasen over 4th place. James Butler in the background there in 6th place. He'd like a shot.
Tequila or what?
Shot at the position, but I mean, he's James Butler. Probably would like a shot at something.
You want the title?
I don't think he's really a tequila guy, though. I don't think. I don't get that opinion.
A shot of the limoncello.
I think if you're offering tequila, the man who might take you up on that is Mauricio.
Perhaps.
Right on board with Max Simmons, who you are not allowed to offer a shot of tequila to.
Well, I mean, he's only 13.
He's too young. Well, I believe he's the youngest man in the field.
He is 7.5 years old.
Vic Vega watching David fight, get into it with somebody there, although I think that was the blue flag scenario that actually just happened in front of us, had a little bit of contact. Someone might not be super happy about that. A couple of big contenders not making it to the end here today. Jesus Huerta not making it to the end, as well as Ariel Zatoni, JB Fordham. These are kind of big names in the title picture. Luciano leads GT2. Jesus Huerta leads GT3, or GT4, pardon me.
Not anymore, disqualified from crashing.
Arnaud Adracor looking to get by Rick Martel, and also looking to get by is Andrew D there. And that apparently was a lapping situation for D against Mauricio Delgado. Yes, so that was not for position. Side-by-side action in the last turn. Adracor is going to get the better of Rick Martel there and move into 9th position. And Dave Fight having a moment once again. That will drop him behind Vic Vega. And probably will rejoin ahead of Ricardo Costa. Costa's quite a ways back. Costa's far enough behind that it's giving us a distance reading as opposed to a time reading, which is always a bit of a sign. In fact, Costa's decided to retire the car.
Wow. Car's 65 laps old. Time to retire.
Rick Martel falling a lap down there, still running in 10th place. We're down to just 12 GT4s in the field with the retirement of Ricardo Costa. We will have a new leader in GT4, do believe, because Jesus Huerta, who led the championship with 44 points, is scoring nothing today. Second place was Arnaud Adracor. You know what? Maybe not, because I'm looking at... No, I think Pedro Magalhaes will overtake him for sure. This will be his second win. This will put him on 50 points. But Ariel Zatoni not scoring today. And how much is Adracor scoring?
7.
How much do you get not for 9th place?
2.5.
7 points for 9th place. So Adracor... Actually, through all this, Huerta not scoring, he's still going to be in second place behind Pedro Magalhaes. Max Simmons going side by side with the damaged car of Henrik Andreasen. Time running low, but Simmons would love to get that 4th place. Hasn't found a way through yet. Diogo Berganca, of course, had not raced any races, so his 3rd place is really throwing kind of a ratchet and things. Tobias TH has been the victim of some incredible bad luck at both Hungaroring and Spa. Actually came into today 9th place, tied with Michael Magas and Vic Vega. He will break that tie in his favor and overtake the absent Hoyce Rocco and Martin Edmonds for sure. But he is not nearly the championship contender that we would have expected when we looked through the preview of this grid and try to make things happen. Max Simmons still being held off by Henrik Andreasen, which I am a little bit surprised by.
Well, I mean, I think he threatened his family, so I mean, it's all fair.
No, I mean just the damage to the car that Andreasen was sporting and the comparatively healthy car of Max Simmons. I did think Simmons would get this job done pretty easily. Mistake there. That is going to let Simmons get alongside him, but he's getting great drive out of these corners as Andreasen. It just seems like Simmons doesn't have the drive out of the corners to complete the moves that he's setting up. And he's going to have one more lap to try to get the job done.
So he does not have the moves?
He doesn't have the moves, Byron. James Butler, by the way, retiring for the race.
You're saying he's not alive, he's not free, he's not sipping on booze on a sunny beach?
He's not.
Damn.
I'm bobbing my head, Byron. I need to link you up to the vocal coach's reaction to the
yeah, you do, because that's got to be great. And you know Ginger, the band Ginger, the reaction to their song Pisces is fucking great every single time I watch it, no matter what vocal coach, appreciator, critic, whatever reactor person.
I have to interrupt because Luciano Echazo is into the last corner on his way to victory, assuming he made his pit stop. Luciano Echazo takes his second victory of the season. He won at Hungaroring. He was second at Spa-Francorchamps, and he wins here today. Once again, hey, we get checkered flags to tell us when people are finished. Nice.
Very nice.
Bertrand Barrier coming home in second place. Barrier's had a rough season. DNF'd at Spa, of course, and finished fourth at Hungaroring. This is his first podium. Magic Kaszczuk's car looking like it's seen slightly better days. And I'm going to try and figure out the standings here for you guys, but I don't have a log file to work from, so just beware. This is all math that I'm doing in my head right now, and it may or may not be accurate. But Luciano Echazo will retain the lead in the GT2 category. He won today, so no one made any ground up on him. I believe despite Max Simmons' failure to take fourth place, I'm gonna call it failure because I don't see how else to put it, because I think Mauricio Delgado might be running out of gas. But I think his fifth place will be enough to retain second place in the standings, ahead of Henrik Andreasen, who finished fourth. But the big increase, the big flyer today, will be Barrier with his second place. I think we'll move him into the top 5, and we should see a change of guard there. And in the GT4 category, Jesus Huerta, we already talked about this. Huerta will not be in the lead anymore, but still will probably be in second place. Pedro Magalhães should take over the lead. Not a good day for anyone in the top 3. Zeros, complete nuggets on the board for Jesus Huerta and Ariel Zatoni. And Arnaud Adracor only picked up a 9th place finish. So should be interesting to see where the GT4 results pan out, because John Barker had a good day. Michael Magas had a good day. Tobias TH had a good day. We had a good day for David Marcaday. Magic Kaszczuk had one of his better days, I think. One of his more consistent results. And things could really change up really quickly. So, Byron, do you have any final thoughts you want to throw in on this race that we just saw?
Uncomfortable thought of the day. Your bones are wet.